Secretary Hegseth, you have been lying to the American public about this war from day one, and so has the President. You have misled the public about why we are at war. You and the President have offered ever-changing reasons for this war. You've misled the public about the progress of the war.
You have been lying to the American public from day one. That accusation just exploded inside a congressional hearing, directed at the Secretary of Defense over the Iran war. Lawmakers didn't hold back, calling it a geopolitical calamity, a strategic blunder, and even a self-inflicted wound on America. They're pointing to rising gas prices, global instability, drained military resources, and asking, what did the U.S. actually gain? Even more explosive claims that the reasons for the war keep changing, and the public isn't getting the full truth. This wasn't just criticism, this was a full-on political takedown, in real time. Stay with us, grab a beer, leave a like, comment and subscribe, because the fallout from this confrontation is just getting started.
Garamendi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary and General Kane, let me begin by thanking the men and women of the United States military for their service and their bravery. I recognize that our service members have performed with extraordinary courage and tactical skill, and they've done incredible things that our country has asked them to. Their professionalism and selfless service are not in question and never have been. What is in question is the purposes and the strategic direction of this war. Mr. Hegseth, as Secretary of the Department of Defense, you are ultimately responsible for the conduct of the Iran war. Any unvarnished review of what is happening right now in the Middle East would reveal a geopolitical calamity, a strategic blunder resulting in worldwide economic crisis. The result of Trump's war of choice is a serious self-inflicted wound to America. It will take years and a new administration to recover from the grave damage to our standing in the world, as well as our economy and our military. We must remember that 13 Americans have been killed in action, hundreds wounded, and thousands of civilians killed, including more than 100 school children. The risk of this conflict was foreseeable. I'm certain that the Department of Defense knew that it was likely that in a war with Iran, Iran would create an international economic crisis by blocking the Strait of Hormuz and thus stopping 20% of the world's oil. Was this existential threat considered? Apparently not. During the 60 days of Trump's Iran war, critical munitions have been expended at an alarming rate, depleting magazine levels below what is thought necessary to hold China at bay. It will take years and tens of billions of dollars to restock. A significant part of the necessary Navy and Marine force in the Pacific has been removed and sent to support the Iran war. Our support of Ukraine has suffered as supplies and defense systems are diverted to the Iran war. America has lost irreplaceable aircraft, radar systems, and strategic bases have been shown to be vulnerable. The continued lengthy deployment of ships, equipment, and personnel has sacrificed readiness. We know what we have lost, but what have we gained? Let's consider that the regime in Tehran is still intact, with new and more radical leadership, as are Iran's ballistic missile and drone forces, as is Iran's ability to rebuild their military industries. Also, as is Iran's coordination with China, Russia, and North Korea, and Iran's ability to choke off global energy supplies, and their stockpile of highly enriched uranium, which they only built after President Trump shredded President Obama's Iran deal in 2017. Secretary Hegseth, you have been lying to the American public about this war from day one, and so has the President. You have misled the public about why we are at war. You and the President have offered ever-changing reasons for this war. You've misled the public about the progress of the war. While the military has executed this war with tactical success. The strategy has been an astounding incompetence, doing immense economic damage to America.
Mr. Chairman,
And the
Mr.
world.
Chairman, with the personal attack on the Secretary, he should have an opportunity to respond.
He certainly
Thank
will
you.
when
No,
I...
no,
No, at the time
I
you're
am
doing it.
finished.
it's the gentleman's time. He can use it as he sees fit and add an extra 5 seconds to Mr. Garamendi's time.
Thank you. You and the President are ever-changing reasons for the war. You have misled the public about the progress of the war. While the military has executed this war with tactical success, the strategy has been an outstanding example of incompetence. This war of choice is a political and economic disaster at every level. Despite the President's promise to lower the cost of living, gas prices are up 40%, and inflation is soaring. So much for lowering the cost of living. The President has got himself and America stuck in the quagmire of another war in the Middle East. He's desperately trying to extricate himself from his own mistakes. It is in America's, and indeed the world's interest, that he succeed in that. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair, and I
A
recognize...
heated congressional hearing just took a sharp turn as a lawmaker openly accused top defense officials of misleading the American public about the Iran war. The congressman began by praising U.S. troops, but quickly shifted focus to leadership, calling the war a strategic blunder and a self-inflicted wound on America's global standing. He pointed to rising casualties, including American service members and civilians, while arguing the economic consequences have been severe, highlighting increased gas prices and global market disruption. One of the most serious claims? That the risks, like Iran potentially disrupting global oil supply, were predictable, yet not properly accounted for. He also warned that U.S. military readiness may be taking a hit, with resources stretched thin and attention pulled away from other global priorities. But the most explosive moment came when he directly accused the Secretary of Defense and the President of changing their justification for the war, and misleading the public about its progress. The room quickly grew tense, with interruptions and calls for the Secretary to respond. At the center of it all is a critical question: is this war protecting U.S. interests, or putting them at greater risk? What do you think, necessary action or costly mistake? Drop your take below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unfiltered moments from Capitol Hill.